So, oh, we're talking about marketing today. I don't know how I forgot this fast. Because 2 weeks ago, we talked about branding. And a lot of times we put it together like branding and marketing and branding, which they're sisters, not twins, or they're lifelong partners. But they're definitely not the same. Branding is how you show up in the market. You know, your logos, your colors, your tone, your voice of your company, trademarks, all that type of stuff. That's your brand, your websites. That's branding. Marketing is how you get people invested. That's the main point of marketing, and how you're gonna sell your goods and your services to your people. Not everyone, your people. Am I saying that right? Yeah. You gotta find your crowd, and it goes with a lot of market research, and it goes deeper than age and ethnicity and race and stuff like that. I mean, this can go whether or not they have kids, their bracket of income, really anything you want to set your demographics to if you feel like your service can solve a problem for a particular demographic, those are the people you're looking for.
Yeah, if you want to think about it as a branding is the head, right? 9 out of 10, branding is the first thing you see. It's a person's face, it's their head, it's their presence, it's what comes out of their mouth, it's all of that. Marketing is the entire body. Mm-hmm. Marketing is the head to toe,
the neck.
Yeah, the neck, everything. It's all the other pieces that people don't always see. And it's an art form. It's the art of selling to a certain demographic or a certain customer base. But a lot of people get caught up in the brand part, the head, because that's what people see. That's the first thing that people are going to connect with. Yeah, it's the big part.
It's the pretty part.
It's the pretty part. It, like, a lot of people, just kind of skip the rest of the body, and it's like anything else, you have to take care of your entire body. You can't just come to the party and take care of your face and how you look. Like, you got to watch what you eat, you got to watch what you drink, you got to exercise, you may want to get your toes done. Ain't nobody looking at your toes, but you go get your toes done, right? So it's the same thing with marketing. You have to look at it, the holistic art form of selling to who your target audience is.
Correct.
And a lot of that is the ugly stuff, like Tequila said, the research, and taking your time to get to know who you're going to sell to, where they are, and how to position yourself and position your product or services to get their attention. And you don't always know that. The old school marketing stuff is the 4 P's. Product, price, promotion, and what else? Place. Yes.
Well, it's like 7 now. It's like
it's a lot of them now. That's what I said. The
packaging. Yeah, I was like,
school is 4 P's. Now
yeah.
A whole bunch of
yeah, it's like 7 P's now. Yeah.
But if you start at the basis, like you can, even if you don't do the whole shebang with all the 7 parts or whatever, if you do the basic 4, then you at least have a good foundation. But the first part of it is just answering the main question, and this is what we tried to do when we had Squared Advising, which is, who are you selling to? Like, we had a whole model that asked a lot of questions of who are you selling to, where does their product lie, what is your purpose, and just kind of defining that. And we can't articulate it any stronger. That's like the most important thing that you should do. Even prior to, a lot of people tell you to go out and get an EIN, go out and get an LLC, go out and do this, that, and the other. If you don't know who you are, and you don't know what you're selling, who you're selling to, your business is going to fail. Even if you get all of the LLCs and grants and everything else that you want to do, your business is going to fail because you're not reaching the right people.
Even if you got the branding down pat and it looks so pretty and it's presented so well, so if you're not reaching the correct audience, or people aren't invested into like why I should put money with you, why should I spend with you, Does any of that matter? It's so many people with half-baked websites or ideas who are continuously making money like good money because they know how to market themselves. They get people invested in what they're doing, in their messages, in their services, in what they're offering altogether. They know how to rally that crowd behind them. Like Tiffany said, it's an art form. It's a gift. Everybody does not possess that. Everybody isn't interested enough to be head of marketing or whatever. Some people doesn't have that oomph about themselves or about the product or whatever they're doing to actually know how to, let me get these people riled up and ready for this.
Right.
That's a thing.
Yeah. And it's psychological too. You have to know the science of people in order to get their attention or to sell to them. And that's why if you've seen like marketing has taken, I think out of all business areas, marketing has shifted the most. And that's because it is solely based on the characteristics of how people respond to what it is you're doing. So as people evolve, marketing strategies have evolved. If you think about a long time ago, I don't know if y'all watched the show Mad Men, but Mad Men was a bunch of people in a room thinking of ads and catchy tunes and everything else to try. We don't have marketing agencies anymore like that.
We don't really have like all the good jingles. Like everybody know that the O'Reilly's one came out. I don't know when it came out, baby, but it's solidified, and they don't have to change. That's literally a part of their marketing. Or the 526, the people who put the jingles, their numbers in the jingle, and all this type of stuff. Like, y'all, everybody can't come up with that. That's gold. Right. It's simple. It's something so simple, and you think, oh, I can do that. Don't disrespect people's talent. Please don't disrespect people's talent and the artistry that goes behind something like that. They made it look simple, but coming up with simplistic things that and earworms that just be seared in people's head, that is something else. Okay, everybody don't possess that. Everybody doesn't possess it.
And Tequila brings up a good point, because I want to say this. I'm gonna say this out loud, because a lot of people, when you start talking about marketing, they automatically take this left turn and they immediately think that we're talking about social media. And let me tell you something. Marketing was around before social media was around. Okay, let's get that straight. Marketing is not social media. Social media marketing is a thing, but it's the finger on the rest of the marketing body. Okay, it is it's a type. It's a tool and a type of marketing. It is not marketing. And let me tell you something else. If your audience is not on social media, your marketing is shit. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Because to Tequila's point, there are some businesses that are doing just as well as others, and all they have is a radio ad, because their primary audience listens to the radio, or their primary audience is on the highway driving and they see the billboards. So they put up a billboard ad. You have to know where your audience is, and your audience is not always going to be on the popular social media platform that everybody else is on. This is why you need to do research to find where they are.
And knowing your demographic, that's why before you do anything else, figuring out that demographic, that means everything. What if your audience is extra conservative and they don't believe in a lot of technology or screen time and all this? Your marketing is going to have to be signage. It's going to have to be word of mouth. It's going to have to be on the road. It's going to have to be where they are. If those are the people who your service or your goods are going to help. So what do I look like selling my things on the radio, knowing my people don't listen to the radio?
Exactly. And
I know they listen to Pandora. I know they listen to Spotify. So why not just take out an ad on Pandora or Spotify?
Right.
YouTube or something like that.
If they're older, they may not listen to I mean, they might not even be on social media.
Yeah.
If they are, they're probably on there trying to keep up with the grandkids or something, or great grandkids or something. They're just there for the picture watching, which was the original intent of it. They're not there to do all the extra stuff. So all your little ads and everything is going to miss them because they're not there for that reason. So where would they be? Well, maybe you should put some signs on some mailboxes or something. Like, go old school. Don't be afraid to go old school and print flyers and put them on cars or hang a doorknob thing on it. Y'all, it can work.
Demographic is absolutely
right.
Yes, do what your demographic does. To not do what your demographic does makes zero sense whatsoever. Like, you have to do what your demographic does. You have to be where your demographic is.
Yep.
Because I don't know if y'all know, running ads, especially if you run, like, yes, you can do organic social media strategy. That's hard. And that's an art form too. Like, I know how it is. Like, you think, oh, this is the time I'm going to go viral. We all think each time is going to be the best time because we good like that. We just some geniuses. This is so funny, or this is so good. Those be the reels that flop every time. You just think gonna do the best. That it's a strategy and it's an art form behind the content you put out. Content creation is not fly by night. I know it used to be, but it's definitely not anymore. No. The quality matters, the production quality matters, the script matters, your personality matters. Like, the things that you're showing, are they entertaining? Are they educational? Are they relevant? Honestly, all that stuff matters. And what I know I see a lot is I'll see people like replicating from other like bigger companies. Like, it works for them because they know their demographic. They know what their people like. They know what they're trying to sell and all that type of stuff. So you may like their aesthetics and how their tone and their voice of their company, and you try to replicate that. People see when you're not being genuine, and especially when you and a lot of your marketing are online on social media. Social media is a very young game. It really is. And these young people do not want that same old frou-frou fluffy stuff. They want some more unpolished realness, some genuineness. They do research on companies now. They want to know who you are.
Yep.
And if they
and what you stand for.
They'll support you.
And what you stand for. And it's deep. Like, it's deep, especially like corporations. They have a little bit of buffer, right? They have the money. They have big marketing departments that do the research for them. They have people that they pay to think through image, demographic. What should the voice be? They have people to do that. You as an entrepreneur are going to have to do that all on your own. And the one selling factor that you have that's not going to be, easy to duplicate or copy is who you are as a person. And that's the first selling factor that people are going to start looking at. So if you don't know who you are or how to present yourself authentically, people are just not going to want to get into that ring with you, in that space with you, because trust me, they're going to Google everything that they can about you, from where you're from to where you stand on politics to where you stand on economic issues. What do you think about environmental issues, social issues? They want to see. They will scroll through your Twitter, your IG, your Facebook, your website, just to see if you said anything that goes against what it is that they think. Yeah, if you're a super high liberal, don't think any conservatives are gonna rock with you. They're not. They're gonna look and see if you said anything anti-Trump, and they're gonna shut you down. It's like that. So you need to really, again, define who you are, stand in that, and then find like-minded people. Find people who agree with the message or who are aligned with what it is, and find out where the hell they are.
Yeah. Find out where they are. We can't stress that enough. Like you said, when we had Square, literally the main question is, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you selling it? Why do you want to put yourself out there? Who are you? Like, who are you? I mean, honestly, truly, I get it. Like we want to present ourselves as this away, right? We want to come off with this mask on, and the mask honestly does not work. If that's not who you are, and that's not what you can keep up, and you're constantly presenting yourself, it will crack. And unfortunately for you and everybody else, if you're doing it online, that crack gonna be there forever. And somebody's gonna see it. Somebody's gonna spread it. Somebody, like, you just show up authentically you. Have some couth about yourself, please, Lord. Because you can be authentic and not be, right. You can be authentic without being rude, without being any of the ism words. Like, you can be who you are and stand 10 toes in what you believe in and everything else without degrading someone else or bringing somebody else down or anything like that. You can definitely do it. I'm somebody who does it all the time. I'm very blunt. I am who I am. But I'm also, I know that I am just one person in several buildings. Like, I know my audience, and that's who I'm talking to. And I'm okay if you're not okay with me.
Right.
And that's a part.
Yeah. And that's not to say, like, the other part of that is because I see this in sometimes on the corporate side. You don't have to follow the trend if you don't agree, if you disagree with the trend. If it's not in your wheelhouse or you don't necessarily vibe with it, you don't have to follow it. For example, our friend Rachel's on right now. She is not with the systematic education of the youth. She likes to go outside and do homeschool. That's her lane, and that's 100% acceptable, and we love it. However, on the flip side of that, what you don't want to do is you don't want to isolate yourself to the point of skipping doing the right thing. And this tends to happen like on the social issues type of thing. Like, if you're uncomfortable, I would say if you're uncomfortable with any type of topic, trend, or whatever, don't even jump into the ring. If you don't have a strong opinion about it and you don't know where you stand on it, stay out of it. Don't say anything.
Best that you say at all.
Exactly. And the reason I say that is a lot of times people pick a side and they don't know what the side really entails. And they get way too deep into something that they weren't ready to get involved in. So when I say nothing, it's not to say you don't have you don't believe in it. Yeah. But don't get so deep into where people you're combating with other people or anything like that. Just say nothing, and at the forefront of it all, use what's within you. Use your power and your energy to always put forth doing the right thing first. So if there's a social issue out there that you're not quite comfortable with, take a step back and say, how does this impact humans across the board, no matter what color they are, gender, race, whatever? Do I feel like this is a good thing for people, or do I not? If you can answer that question, then that's where you stand on the issue, and you don't have to go any deeper on it.
But honestly, that is a marketing tactic. A lot of people do jump on the headlines, jumping on the headlines or the social issues that's at hand right now. That's part of a strategy. It's part of a marketing strategy, but there is backlash that comes with that. And if that's what you're good, if you're fine with that, that's fine. But if you're not well versed in what's going on, like Tiffany said, it's so much stuff you can be in this world. Quiet is one. You can definitely be quiet when it comes to that. And you can still have where you stand and all those things. And if you ever feel like you get more well versed in it, you do your research, you have your talking points, where you're coming from, you have to truly understand before you speak on some stuff, because a lot of times, and also be willing to change once you do learn. Because a lot of times I know I can start on one way, but once I figure out, like, I do my research and I figure out what's really going on, I'm presented with this new information, and I changed my, my thought process on it.
Yeah.
And if I'm quiet first and I'm studious, I don't have to go back and backtrack anything I've said or come out wishy-washy or it's things like that, because that does damage your brand look. Like
Absolutely.
1 minute you over here, 1 minute you over here, 1 minute you doing it. Mm-mm.
Yep. And
No.
and one of the best examples I could think of that is, I'm sorry, I'm gonna pick on him. Ye messed up Yeezy. Ye messed up Yeezy 100% when he came out and said slavery was a choice.
Yeah.
When he said slavery was a choice, his brand took a hit. Now, are people still buying the shoes? Yes.
Yeah.
But I've seen so much backlash as to, I don't mess with Ye, I don't mess with Yeezy, I don't mess with the brand. And shoot, it almost went back to, I don't mess with Adidas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All the way to the manufacturer because of this one statement. And one thing I do want people to understand, like the old school way of thinking is there's no such thing as bad press. That's bullshit, y'all. That is not how it's played anymore, because cancel culture will mess you up. When somebody decides that you are canceled, I don't even know, have they forgiven John Legend's wife yet?
You know what? I
know canceled.
No, you know who else is still canceled? Chrisette Michelle. I'm like, baby, this was so.
No. She's not canceled anymore. Because I went to a couple. No, she's been touring. Okay. She's not as big as she was. Now we'll grant that. But she's been doing the City Winery tour, and she has sold out at City Winery tours, and she's doing like new albums and stuff. I don't think she's completely canceled. I think she has a niche set of fans that listen to her and follow her, and they are okay with her. I don't think she's completely canceled.
Though, and she did that one thing, and baby hasn't really recovered. She ain't really recovered.
She is not fully recovered from the Trump situation and performing at the inauguration. No, she is not. But whoever is managing her has done a really good job of giving her a niche. Yes, she has a niche set of fans that still listen to her. Hey, I went to one of her shows, and let me tell you something.
I really do, but I just really
can blow, y'all. The girl can blow.
But it's really time, and this is what we mean about, like, please do your research. If it's something you feel really really passionate about, yes, you can do those in the headline marketing strategies to stay with the title A. But we want you to know, we talk about this stuff because we want you to know the pros and cons of it. It's never to talk you out or anything like that. But please, please, please do the research, know where you stand, and be willing to learn. And when you actually learn and you have a new set of information, be willing to change if that's necessary. So, but when I think about marketing, and the best example I can come out with is movies, like promotions. Movies are big on marketing, and they go old school and new school. Like production people, the marketing teams, like think about the Barbie movie. These people built a Malibu Barbie house. They built one on the street in a neighborhood. Like, what? Even if you didn't know what was going on, that's gonna generate some interest. That you're gonna be like, what's happening? You're gonna Google. You're gonna do some research to figure out. And they did it like overnight. This wasn't like you saw some progress of a dollhouse going up. No, it wasn't there. And the neighbors woke up, and there is a freaking dollhouse, a Malibu dream house across on the street. Yeah. Like that's some marketing. Just think about how pink blew up this summer.
Yep.
Barbie pink everywhere.
Yep.
Like everybody got some pink on. I'm not even a pink girl, and I've been wearing more pink because it's in my face at all times. So subconsciously, I'm picking out pink stuff because I'm seeing pink all the time.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, and that's how
I love.
Hurts.
Go ahead. And I was gonna say, I love how they got the guys involved. because traditionally, you know, Barbie is a very gender specific toy
Mm-hmm.
with a gender specific brand, and it was normally marketed to cisgender girls, but they did a really good job of including everyone in the Barbie marketing. You saw guys in the Barbie marketing, you saw transgender people in Barbie marketing, you saw every person represented in the Barbie marketing. So it was kind of like, this isn't just for little girls who like dolls, this is for everybody. And
Yeah,
I thought
and you
it was genius.
You saw the Duolingo app. They had they were on the pink carpet in a Barbie thing, like a mascot. Like, I would have never think, like, but that's, again, that is the power of good marketing, getting people that you wouldn't even think would have a connection to this thing involved. And because I was like, when I saw a little Duolingo ad, I'm like, why is this ad on the pink carpet taking pictures? And they did all types of promotion. Duolingo themselves just did all types of promotion for their own stuff, just being a part of the pink carpet with Barbie. But Duolingo is very dialed in with the young, like Gen Z or whatever. They're very down in with Gen Z and the like a younger subgroup of people.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna be in all those. But they know what their demographic, where their demographic is. They know what they're looking at. They know what they're paying attention to. So they're gonna be there.
Yep.
They're gonna be there. They've done several partnerships with popular TikTok creators, like several, because they know that's where their audience is. They know their audience is online. They know their audience is on their phone. You're not going, I haven't seen a Duolingo billboard or heard a Duolingo commercial or a radio ad. Haven't heard one. If they have one, okay. Haven't heard one though. Big League doesn't have commercials. They don't have any ads really.
Yep.
The luxury market, they don't have ads like that.
Because they don't want us. They don't want the normal people. But
everyday
we can't even afford a big anyway.
You, the everyday girl or guy or whomever cannot afford what we're selling. So why on earth would I even tempt you to put it in your face?
Yep.
The only like if you see like a Gucci ad, it's only in high fashion magazines.
Yep.
Or you can go to the runway. That's where their audience is. They're not gonna.
And they're so and they're so exclusive with their placement as well. You can only go to certain malls to even go inside a Gucci store. When you think about it, you have to go to the premium malls. You're not gonna walk up in a regular mall and see a Gucci store. You gotta go to the rich side of town.
Shopping mall.
Yeah, you gotta go there.
Food court at these malls, babe. You're only going to spend your money and that's it. We're not stopping to eat. No. Right. So it's about finding, that is marketing. How you're going to sell and who are you going to sell to and where are they? How are you going to get these people invested? That is your main thought when you're thinking about marketing. How will I get my demographic of people, the people who are interested in me and what I do, to buy this stuff?
Yep.
And I know it might come off as salesy, and we hate to feel salesy, but honestly, if you don't do it, nobody's going to do that for you. Nobody's going to sell you like you. So like I was saying, like the Barbie movie, pink was everywhere. You think they care about how much pink was going around? No. They slapped that mess in our face every time they had a chance. It was so much pink everywhere. Times Square, on billboards, building homes. I think the album it's so many songs from the movie soundtrack on the billboards. Mm-hmm. I mean, it took over. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Who else did a really good job? Smile. Y'all remember that movie Smile? It's like
the
thriller.
Movie?
Yes. and they were hiring actors to go to ball games and smile, and that creepy smile. I don't even watch horror movies, but I was a little interested. They ain't win me over. I never watched it, but I did look up like the synopsis on it and what it was, because I'm just not into horror movies or nothing like that. But I do remember just seeing actors everywhere, and sporting events, baseball, basketball games. Like, they were literally at all sporting events. Oh, they're looking creepy and smiling, and they never broke character. How? I don't know. How do you not blink and you just sit there and smile? Do y'all know how hard your cheeks hurt sitting there smiling? Girl, that was some grade A marketing. I mean, so much so that people were like, what's going on? Why are these people just sitting in like the announcers would notice them and be like, what's happening out here? Like, put the camera on them, and it generated a conversation. Yeah. To the point where you want to go do research, and you looked it up, and you knew about it. Pretty good. And like you said with the Barbie, how they got everybody involved. I thought a good thing was like Ryan Gosling sharing behind the scenes, or the actors sharing their experience as to why they picked their roles. Like he was saying, his daughter had a Ken doll laying face down in the backyard, and he felt so much injustice for the Ken doll that he just knew he had to accept the role, because he said he wasn't even thinking about doing it. He was like, that was a sign. He was like, he just felt like Ken's story had to be told. So he said yes. So stuff like that.
Poor Ken, he been getting shaded for years.
I mean, he was like, he had to tell Ken's story. And I'm like, that was so funny. So cute. But stuff like that really does, like those press tours, behind the scenes, billboard marketing, radio ads, social media, all these things are strategies. They're just fingers on the hand, like Tiffany says. They're not your at all, be all. If you take out a billboard, that's the only marketing that you do. Right. Insanity. Like, why would you do that? I mean, unless even if your audience is on the road, say your audience is a trucker, I would suggest you put something on the side of the truck. Something like, you should be all along the roadways, not just billboards. Yep. You have restaurants, you have rest stops, you have buses. Like, you have to really, really think about, how can I really spread the word in the interest of my brand? Yep. And on top of that, we touched on it a little bit, but I want to circle back to placement. Because placement is very, very important. So as you're building your marketing strategy and you figure out where your people are, where they shop, where they watch, where they reside on Instagram, yada, 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 you want to make sure your product is placed within the space that they are. And when I say that, what I mean is there's a thing called marketing channels, and channels are very closely related to sales channels, right? So if you're in a product, let's say you have a product, right? If you put your product in a Target store, that's a channel, right? Retail is a channel, and you need to have a marketing strategy that matches the retail channel. So if you're going to put your product in Target, then you need to market it on Target. You need to market in Target ad. You need to market on Target's website. You need to get on Target social media. Because your product is going to be there. Wherever you plan to put your product, you need to work backwards from there and make sure you have a channel strategy that matches that, so that people know directly how to get to you and how to get to your product, and they can get there the quickest way possible from the marketing channel that you set up. So if you're on Instagram and you have products for sale on Instagram, you need to have a store on Instagram readily available for people to buy from you. That's the fastest way to do it. You don't want to have them leave the app and try to go search for you in Best Buy or go run to a Walgreens or something like that. That's inconvenient for the customer. Match your channel with the marketing. Yes. It's imperative that you think that entire flow through. And the
one thing that we told our customers in the past is map a journey from the time your customer sees your product somewhere to the time they buy. List out all of the steps that they will have to take to get to your product or service. If it's a search here, a view there, a video to watch here, whatever it is, map it out, map the entire flow out so that you know every single step your customer has to take. What does that do? One, it puts you in the seat of the customer to see how easy or difficult your product is to access. If it's too hard, they're not going to buy from you. Right. People love instant gratification. They love getting things fast. I mean, hell, look at Amazon. You go in the app, you order something, you push buy, and it ships to your house. That's 4 steps. If you can get if you can get
it's even better now with Alexa. I just saw a TikTok and a little boy ordered $1,000 worth of toys because he was like, Alexa, put a pool in my cart. Alexa, give me a rocket. Like literally, that's 2 steps. Alexa, do this, and then Alexa checks you out.
Yes.
Even simpler. So simple, a kid can do it.
Yep.
We just can't.
Yep. My one of my bosses has a saying. What does he say? I want it to be toaster simple. I want to be able to put my bread in the toaster and push a button, and then after a couple minutes, toast pops up. That's how simple.
That's everybody wants that, right? Why should I go through 50 million steps? I don't want it that bad. I promise you, there's literally nothing in this world I want to spend my money on that bad. Now, I will go through some things to get money, but I will not go through anything to give you my money. Exactly. Okay, so you want this cash or no? And if it's no, that's fine. I keep it in my pocket. Exactly. I'm gonna find somebody else who sells what you sell, because let's be honest, nobody has just this one and done thing. It's you have competition. Yeah. Don't ever make it easy for your competition. Figure it out. Because if I scroll one more thing down and I see the same thing, and all I gotta do is boop, and I'm right there buying it, baby, that's what's happening. Right. That's what's happening.
Yes, it is.
That's what's happening.
The crazy part is, like, now don't get it confused, because we're not saying like devalue yourself or drop the price or anything like that. Because when you find your target audience and you know what it is that you sell, you know what you're worth. And if someone comes along and drops the price through the ground, like offers the cheapest of the cheap, right? You don't have to play in that space, because you already know who your customers are and you know what it is that you're. And
they're not looking at them. They don't even know those people exist. Yes. To be honest,
we're saying,
because they're not.
What we're saying is be quick to market. We're not saying devalue yourself. There's a difference, right? And pricing strategy is a part of marketing. However, it's not the end results. When you know what type of business or type of product or service you have, whether it's a niche that's a little bit more expensive, like kind of your luxury brands, or you are low cost, high volume, where you sell something that's not super expensive across the board, you're almost a commodity, then you have to be priced pretty low. But the volume depends on the exposure. The exposure, it depends on how quick you go to market. If you're not going to market fast, somebody else is going to beat you to it.
Yeah, and that's just the name of the game. And even when you do go to market, there is also legal things you have to do to protect intellectual property, or things like other nature, like logos, brands, coloring, all those things. So that, again, another life. Yep. So even when you go to market and you know your demographic, you know who you're selling to, so if you know all those things and you go to market and you do great, there are bigger people out there. Like, if you watch Shark Tank, I forget who is it, Mr. Wonderful, was like, how will what you're selling, and how can we stop bigger companies from taking your idea? Either, of course, you got to get trademarking, patent pending, stuff like that, especially if you have some like a good that's intellectual property and you know this thing isn't out there. it really is hard to stop a bigger company from coming in and swooping in on your stuff.
Yep.
So don't be afraid to go to market. We're not saying all this stuff to make you fear going to market or anything like that. But if you do know your demographics and you know how to set yourself apart and you do know how to tell your story and you know how to get people investing in you, you're going to be okay.
Yep.
You're going to be okay. You will have your people. You will have your supporters. You still will make money.
Yep.
And then you can go get all your legalities, taken care of as far as patents and trademarks and whatnot. Make sure you get that for all that. But
and a lot of folks, y'all don't like. You bring up a really good point, because you just said like other bigger companies trying to take you out or whatever. So this is on the topic of marketing, but sort of kind of not. So I'm gonna bring it up anyway. But I notice a lot of times that in our community we feel a certain kind of way when a Black entrepreneur sells their business to a larger corporation. And let me tell you why this happens and what happens when what goes on when this happens. There's a piece of entrepreneurship to where a lot of us we kind of take our business so far, and then once we hit our peak, there is we've gotten to this point in the curve where, and it's a natural transition, right? You go up, you're up the curve, you hit the peak of the curve, and it's naturally either plateau for a while or you're going to come back down. That is a natural transition of any business. So when you hit the peak and you get to the point of plateauing, the question you need to ask yourself is, okay, how am I going to scale? When you start talking about scaling takes tremendous investment, tremendous resources, as in people, as in technology, as in a whole lot of stuff that we don't have access to. And a lot of times larger corporations have the ability to scale because they capitalize on what they call economies of scale, which is you get the lower price stuff for the bigger volumes. So if you're selling a product and it takes you $7 to manufacture that product, a larger corporation can use their economies of scale and get the cost down to $3. That is the price of paying. That's the price you pay of being a Black-owned business with not a lot of resources. It happens also on the marketing side. Those big corporations can reach customers that you cannot. They can put dollars into your marketing plan that you cannot. They can put people behind your brand that you cannot afford. They can do a lot of stuff. They can scale it on a level and really develop a go-to-market strategy that you never thought of. So before we tear into people about selling their companies to larger organizations, take a minute to think about what it would take to scale a business from $10 million to $100 million in revenue.
Yeah, too much. I can't even think of it right now. I had to break out my paper and it's a lot of, that's months of research actually. For you to sit down, and that's a lot of man hours actually. It's a lot.
It's the same concept as if you were flipping a house, y'all. You bought a house for X amount of dollars, you stayed in it, whatever. We watch all of these shows, these renovation shows. Like one of the ones that I always watch is what's the guy and the lady? Love It or List It, right?
Oh, I hate that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Love It or List It. And there's this couple trying to decide whether or not they list the house or they love the house. Now, the house could be a business, right? You're trying to decide if you keep your business or if you sell it off. The first thing you start to do is you do an evaluation of your house. You're going to do an evaluation of your business. You need to know how much your business is worth, yada, yada, yada. Then the question is, okay, if you were to keep this business, how much fluidity in your cash, and how much cash can you come up with to invest in scaling that business and making it worth more? The same thing, same concept as your house. They're going to ask you, how much of an investment are you willing to put into your house to make the renovations and make it better and put it back on the market and get more money?
Over invest too. That's math.
Exactly.
Because if you over invest, you can't get that money back. Now you're sitting at a deficit. And it's like that with businesses too. Because like we said the last time we was on with Brandon, Elon Musk, what he bought Twitter for, it's not giving him back the return, even though it had the potential. The choices that has been going on is putting him at a deficit, and it looks like he gravely overpaid for Twitter because it is not giving him that return.
Yep, exactly. It's the same concept though, y'all. And then you bring in a whole bunch of contractors to do the work, like you would bring in a whole bunch of people into your business to do the work, and then you would make the decision on whether or not you're gonna keep it or sell it. And 9 times out of 10, in our instance, we probably sell because we're getting more value in our pocket of selling the business and taking the cash and putting it into something else that we might want to do, plus profiting a little bit, than to keep on investing our time. And we know over a long course of time, we're not able to sustain the type of changes that we need to make in the business in order to scale it up to where we know it could potentially go.
Learning is definitely a part of marketing too, because like we said, everything is on the curve, the bell curve. You will get to a peak, you will plateau, and if you plateau and you don't make changes or some type of letting go or whatever, it will start to decline.
Yep. Product life cycle, y'all. Same thing.
Yeah, that's natural. That's natural. Nobody has anything that without constantly working or evolving and developing, nothing lasts. It just doesn't. Nothing lasts. I mean, even relationships, they the same way. Closest relationship, like it doesn't matter how much you put in on this. It's constant work, constant evolving, constant development, constant, or you will go to a plateau and decline.
Yep.
Decline. Yeah, that's a part of it, y'all. Sorry, but yeah,
what it is. But stop tearing up these entrepreneurs for selling their businesses, y'all. If you want Black entrepreneurs to keep their businesses, then when they go up on the price, don't bitch about it, pay it. If you want Black entrepreneurs to keep their businesses, then help them find resources, help them, identify. Matter of fact,
it is more expensive, and we're always
buy shares of their company, buy something so that they can keep their business. I know one of the owners of one of the national hair care lines was begging people to buy shares of her company because she did not want to sell. And I think there's still an offering out there. But if you want the Black businesses to stay in the Black community, then be the investor that they need in order to scale it up to where they know it can go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we have no choice.
People think that, they're selling things like, my God, like resources and revenue come from different places.
Yes.
We think because selling, just sell more stuff. That's not, no. I mean, y'all know there's a margin there, yes. And it's only so much they can go up on this product, certain products and certain, like you said, certain avenues and certain channels. There's only so much you do cap yourself out depending on what the product is and where the channel and who their demographic is. There is a cap. So there's only so much they can go up there and increase their margin and have a profit and enough to go back and reinvest into stuff in the business. There's only so much room there. So you do need those angel investors or those stock holders or people to come in like that to give you that extra working capital. After you get so big, you do need a working capital.
And your liquidity, right? In case you need to pull some cash. You need that type of stuff. And the thing that drives me crazy the most is like, y'all, man, I've seen people really dog people online about selling their business. Well, we're in inflation, y'all. The price of everything has gone. Price of raw materials is ridiculous. Price of labor is ridiculous. Price of insurance is ridiculous. If you are not a business owner or you have not just dive deep into what it really costs to own a business, I suggest you take a step back and stop judging people and be quiet for a second, because there are so many expenses that are in owning
Out of
a
nowhere.
business, out of nowhere.
Especially around tax
Alone.
time.
Yes.
Oh my God. Around tax time, tax for everything. I'm like, what is this? What is this? What is this? Like, y'all.
And if you're selling a product, if you're selling a service, you are the liability, right? Because the person can sue you. If you're selling a product, the product is the liability, and you is the problem. The product itself is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The manufacturer, whoever manufactured the product is a problem. The raw materials that went into the product is a problem, and you have to have insurance to be able to cover all of that shit. Plus, you need an attorney. Plus, you need all of these other different things. You have to have backup raw materials just in case your original raw material provider can't give you what you need. You got to have backups for everything. Like, you got to have people who can do your accounting if you're not good with your numbers. You got to have technology and software. You got to have a whole bunch of stuff. And the price just keeps going up. So stop giving black entrepreneurs a problem when they raise their price. Stop telling them they don't. Every time they sell out a product, you dogging them online, telling them you sold out and blah blah blah. They don't have economies of scale like these bigger corporations. They can't go over there and buy from China for thousands of units on pennies of the dollar. They can't do it. They don't have the resources to do it. They can't get the credit score to do it. They don't have the means to do it. Pay the extra if you have the money to pay the extra. Pay the extra and support these people through their price increase, because the more you buy, the more their volumes go up. The more their volumes go up, then they can get the economies of scale that they need to get lower costs. And guess what? When they get lower costs, they can lower their price.
Yes. And we always come, this is small business, small companies in general too. It's expensive to go to market. Yes. It's very expensive, but we're always going to come from the Black POV because we are Black women. That's what we have experience in. It is more expensive to go to market, especially when you have goods.
Yep.
Especially when you have goods, because even if you know the supplier, you never get it as cheap as the supplier.
Nope.
Your cost can always be lower. We're always going to pay more than the people with the direct connect. You know what I'm saying? So those prices go up, like she was saying, like Tiffany was saying. So there's so much more than, oh, you're just being greedy.
No, it's
you
not
have
greedy.
Yeah. Now, not to say there aren't people operating off sheer greed and they're not updating systems and all this type of stuff. Yes, there are people out there doing it, but for the most part, or from what we have experienced, people are really truly are trying. They're not trying to get over on anybody. It's just goods and the things that they need, and being that they can't buy the bulk to really reduce that price down. That's what it is. So they have to pay whatever they have to charge what they have to charge to cover all those things and have enough margin for a profit and reinvestment.
Yep. And if you're buying a product, if you're buying a product from a minority-owned business, just remember 3 things that they need to do for these products: price to produce. There's a price for them to produce it. Mm-hmm. There is a price for them to store it. They have to put it somewhere, distribution center, warehouse, whatever. And there is a price to transport it. They got to ship it to you. They got to ship it somewhere, to a store, to you, to wherever it is, from the manufacturer to the distribution center, from the distribution center to the store to you. They have to do that. And depending on what their channels are, they have to meet all 3 of those. All 3 of those cut into their margin. And when you don't allow them to get a price increase, you're cutting into the profitability of that company.
Yeah. And that goes to
those costs are going to keep going up.
As well. That goes to service providers as well. I'm a service provider. My cost has gone up for like the resources to do my job has gone up significantly. And I haven't even raised, my prices again or anything yet. just because I still have a pretty decent margin there.
Yeah.
But the margin is getting slim. It's cutting, it's getting thinner and thinner, literally by the month. Like something could cost one thing 30 days ago, and I go back to purchase it, and it's an extra $10, and it's like, whoa, what is this?
Yep.
So even as a service provider, it is getting more expensive to even get the things I need to do the job.
Yeah.
So, again, we're Black women. We see the things like, well, braids used to be $100. Yeah, everything was $2 in the 90s. Like, it's expensive, y'all. Like, gas used to be literally like 64 cents. Do y'all not remember? Yeah, $45 now per gallon. That's kind of crazy.
Yes, and please realize this is not a Black entrepreneur, white entrepreneur, small business owners, period. Please realize how many of them are not paying themselves at all.
So many.
I want to bring that up because there's a lot of them that are breaking even or making just enough margin, and that margin they are putting directly back into their business because they want to grow it or they want to get more customers or get more scale or whatever it is. They're not paying themselves. Do y'all hear me?
Literally so many people who own businesses, run their own they are not getting paid. They are not rolling around like Scrooge McDuck in a vault of money. That is not what's happening at all. They're making enough to get by, like you are probably making enough to get by, and they're making enough to put back into their business to make sure they have retention.
I'm gonna be right back. Give me 1 second.
But we kind of got off subject, but I want to go back down. So with marketing is how are you going to sell and promote your goods and service? How are you going to get the people involved or interested in buying for you? And social media, ad running, radio, billboard, all these things are strategies and methods. Your channel is where your stuff is, like if it's in the store, if it's online, if it's in a storefront, like your own storefront or something like that. All these things are they all go together.
Yep.
Pricing is part of your marketing strategy. Promotion is marketing strategy. Placement, marketing strategy. The people that you want to sell to, that's part of marketing. Another reason I wanted to do this too, though, since last time we talked about branding. I don't know if you've been on TikTok with the little the Caucasian girl wearing the box braids, and her promoter or somebody told her basically to rage farm with the black community to get as a marketing employee. Girl, that is true too. That's why when we were like, all the things you can be is quiet. You can rage farming is real as well.
Oh, yeah.
People will play off the emotions, and they would pander people's fears. They were fear mongering. That's just part of a marketing employee too. Yeah. It is. It's truth. People know what you do and don't like, or what their audience or their demographics do and don't like, and they play off of that.
And trust and believe, they are pegging you to find out. Sorry, y'all, my dog is knocking stuff over. They're trying to figure out where you sit in the, what I'm saying, as a consumer, where do you sit? Like this goes back to even the Trump stuff, right? Remember, they did all the Facebook ads and everything, trying to be as divisive as possible. And the whole time, what they're utilizing or what they're presenting as kind of good person, bad person stuff, it's really a ploy in the background to define whether or not you're a conservative or a liberal.
Correct.
And next thing you know, you're going to see Trump ads or you're going to see Biden ads.
Or whomever.
Or whomever is running.
It's all
right.
business, you guys. it really just is. Sorry to tell you, they playing with you, but they are. And I mean, rage farming is definitely it. The problem with that, again, backlash. And listening to your promoter, your marketer, your team, and they're telling you to do certain things that you know that's not really what you are about, but you do it anyway because you want following and stuff like that. And you know you're not about that life, and you can't be 10 toes down, and I'm sorry, somebody's probably gonna dox you. Somebody's gonna counsel you. Like, it's a lot of backlash that can be mentally tolling on you. And if you're not that person, or you really can't deal with that, like, you really have to be careful as to how you're gonna stir up the pot.
Yep.
That's why we like staying, looking at those what's in the media headlines, doing that strategy as a marketing employee, riding that tidal wave. Yes, it works. Yes, you can go viral from that. You really, really can. But if you're not about that, you're not about that life, that's not how you really roll, and that's not what you stand on, it's not worth the backlash. It's not worth the risk. The risks definitely outweigh the benefits there.
Yep.
If that's how you build it, if that's the if that's the brand you're building, if that's the voice and how you want to come off, if that's what you're building, being this controversial or divisive person, if that's what you're trying to do, that's great for you then.
Yeah.
You'll love it. But listen, most entrepreneurs aren't trying to do that. They're trying to sell something. They're trying to sell either themselves as a service provider or a personality or something like that. And if that's how you coming into it, and that's the way you gain your popularity or your following or your backing, it's very short lived.
Right.
Especially if you don't actually live that life. You have to keep going with that because you have attached yourself to a very particular niche audience. And that's all they want to see. You're not going to be able to break away from that and do something else. They don't want to see that. You're going to lose all your backing. So it's only so far you can get with rage farming, unless that's what you want to do forever to make your money, because that is what you're going to like. It's kind of like being a child star. You know what I mean? Like how you see those child stars on the plane, like, oh, you only see me as this one thing, but I can do so much more. We're not interested in your range. That's how we were introduced to you. That's what made us like you. That's what we're looking for. They're not looking for your other personalities and facets. No, we don't care. And that's who you're attaching yourself to. So if that ain't what you want, don't do it.
Yep. And it's so bad. Like in politics, you see it all the time. Like people present themselves as one way to win a certain type of vote, and they really don't stand in that truth or believe it or whatever. And then when they backtrack, they lose everybody. Nobody, because your credibility is shot at that point. Like everybody thinks you're a piece of trash liar, and nobody wants to hear anything you have to say because you went one way and that really wasn't the way that you wanted to go, and now you try to backtrack it. Like it doesn't work in any situation. If you're gonna be
even if you think he's getting on the right side of stuff, it's like, nah, nobody trusts you on either side now.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Anything else we need to cover with marketing? Y'all got questions? I don't never ask y'all if y'all got questions.
We just be talking.
We do care though. Do y'all have anything, or did this help? Did we miss something? Do y'all understand the difference between branding, marketing? Understand how they go together, but they ain't together? Anything? We don't know.
Well, if you do have questions, just drop them in the comments after we post this video, and we'll circle back and answer them, or feel free to DM us. We'll answer any questions that you have about marketing if you message us.
Thank you, Ray.
Yeah, I'm still getting up to speed on my whole marketing journey. Since I run strategy at the company that I work for, I've just now recently been assigned marketing, and I didn't traditionally do marketing. But that's another conversation to have about how marketing and strategy are also sisters or cousins, if you will, and how your strategy influences your marketing, and your marketing also influences your business strategy. So we'll talk about that in another episode.
Yeah, all right. Thank y'all for joining us, and we'll be back we're doing it bi-weekly now. That helps us keep a balance with our work life, home life, relaxation life, all those things. But we'll still be putting out content throughout the week that'll reiterate some of these points. And like we said, if you have any questions that we need to answer throughout the week until we get to our next topic, let us know. Okay?
Yep. And if there's a topic you want us to cover, DM us or drop us a note and let us know, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So thank y'all for joining us, and we'll see y'all in 2, okay?